Good evening and welcome to Singapore by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade game set on the normally sunny island of Singapore. But when night falls in this part of Southeast Asia, we call it Singapore. And to join us in these adventures is our four intrepid vampire players, starting with, on my right, it's Ramji playing Tariq.
Hello. Hi.
And playing Chantel, it's Sheena Chan. Right above her, playing Moon Moon, it's Jotan. And last but certainly not least, playing Rachel, it's Lisa Yo. And making this stream possible and every other stream possible on The Fourth Culture is a very special company indeed that in no way has any influence on global geopolitics other than the fact that it works as a completely honest and above-board organization. Ramji, why don't you tell us about it in character as Tariq?
Are you tired of your Illuminati? Frustrated that perhaps the gnomes of Zurich have not delivered the wealth that you've expected? Perhaps you are wondering how to do business in Asia, but the various tendrils of Great Cthulhu are in your way. Well, you need to reach out to my friends at the Better Consultancy because they truly know how to do business in Asia and how to help you grow and scale your business in a manner befitting your status as one of the hidden masters, mistresses, or, gender-appropriate pronouns of the world. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Ramji. And just a reminder also that it is not to be confused with a butter consultancy, which is a dairy research company somewhere in Europe, I'm sure. Anyway, it's www.abetterconsultancy.co.
I need to go and Google that because if that exists, we're gonna just get
I was genuinely like, oh, really?
Yes, it's based in Geneva, run by Swiss milkmaids. No, I have no idea. Anyway, so lots of things have been happening. This actually, folks, is our 9th session, and we are coming to the end of season 1 very soon because that's what I planned for. It's one season of 10 sessions, including session 0. This is technically session 8, but to find out and bring us up to speed on what's been happening, we refer you to our resident archivist and lawmaster, Sheena Chan. Sheena,
hello.
What's been happening?
All right. In the last session, during the downtime, Chantel asked the Ruffles, her sire, about the La Sombras and also about Oblivion, which is a discipline that the La Sombras have. It has to do with shadows and ghosts and talking to ghosts in shadows and things like that. So what she found out was that Raffles himself doesn't really seem to like the La Sombras very much. He says they cannot be trusted and that they were a bastion of the Sabbat, even though they're now part of the Camarilla. She then asked Professor Susanto and got a contact from him of a person with a shop in Fortune Center named Cloud on Water. And there's the name of the person, not the shop, although I think the shop is also Cloud on Water. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, Cloud on Water is a famous geomancer. Rachel was rather alarmed by her last encounter with the ghost and the well and all that stuff, so she became a little bit more careful about her East Coast wanderings as well. She was also informed by Mike that Moon had been messaging him, but he wasn't too interested in her texts. Moon herself had been live streaming the whole week and was very busy, couldn't meet up with the Coterie at all. But she did try her best to make contact with Mike with like random news links and emojis. And yes, after that was informed by Rachel that Mike wasn't that big a texter, and so she switched to voice messages. Yes, I hope it works out for her. Tariq learned all specs from Chantel, but instead of being able to see strange things that shouldn't be there, he decided to enhance his senses instead so he can hear very well, he can see very well, all that kind of thing. He also spoke to Samira about the tremors and the artifact and learned that Professor Susanto is actually very bad at deceit, but that he, as in Tariq, should reserve some judgment until he acquires more data about him. He also reached out to Nasir in Malaysia, who wrote back in a cipher used in the Singapore and Malaysia, I want to say, blood sorcerers? Yes. And Nasir said that he would be very happy to introduce Tariq to the prince over there, but that things are a bit tense in JB at the moment, and for us to wait a week or two before he decided to go over. Chantal then asked the Coterie, would you guys like to meet La Sombra? And for some bizarre reason, everyone was quite okay with that. So we all got our way to Fortune Center, and we met a few of her clients. One of which, according to Tariq, was a unlucky guy who was in debt, and another person was the cousin of the Sultan of Perak, and was complaining about how hard it was to cross the causeway to meet Master Cloud on Water. So we looked around and after a while realized that there was a ghoul by the name of Sally who was working sort of like a receptionist, door bitch kind of person. And so we tried to hint to her that we are vampires and maybe we should get to see her first. It didn't work out too well. Maybe our hints were too subtle. So Moon decided to show her fangs instead. Unfortunately, it worked, but in a bad way. Like Cloud and Water was not too happy with us doing that and supposedly frightening her ghoul or threatening her ghoul in a way. And we tried to placate her by explaining that, oh, we are your new neighbors. We're here to just introduce ourselves and also ask you a few questions. We asked about, or rather, Tariq asked about Rico. And so it was of the, since you were both in the Sabat together, what do you know about him? Kind of situation. Moon tried her best to smooth things over, but we got a few answers out of her, but overall, it seemed as though Cloud and Water was not very happy with us. So we did learn that Rico is Shimze, and if he was in Batam, then he would already be in control of the entire island, and by that we mean everything, the police, the government, and all that stuff. And based on her body language and her aura, Chantal was able to tell that she was very bored with us and quite annoyed about the visit. As we left, Chantal noticed that there were two shadowy figures behind Cloud, and Tariq overheard a male voice ask, why did we come to speak to her now? And perhaps, the Camarilla still suspects the La Sombra. Chantal tried to smooth things over by sending over the little gift pack that she had actually prepared but forgot in the car, which was one pack of the Tremere special blood that they made. One tastes like fried chicken, one tastes like kale. Yeah, and gave that to them as like a sort of peace offering. So as we went back to give it to them, Tariq snuck in and overheard a few conversations. Turns out that the cousin of the Sultan of Perak was crying, asking for help about having nightmares about her child was aborted 15 years ago, and that she has to do certain things to appease the spirit. And he also overheard the male customer wanting to win at high stakes baccarat, and basically the customers were getting fleeced for great sums of money. In the idea that, if you give me this money, you will win at baccarat. If you give me this money, you will appease the ghost of your aborted child or something like that. He also overheard La Sombra talking about something called the project, and that they would be having enough money to complete the project soon, and they might need to buy more people from Dr. Georgina. And he also saw a black globe of complete darkness and mahjong sounds coming out of it. Just a little bit confusing. After which, the Coterie went on to Biopolis because Mike messaged Rachel that Professor Susanto wanted to show us something. It turned out to be this old-timey kerosene lamp that was powered by the artifact that we had taken from Shonen Jinja, I want to say. Yes, something like that. And it turns out that the light goes out for 1 kilometer and will turn from yellow to red if it shines on Rico or the Nosferatu's bloodline. Yes, we were very confused about the use of this item, and he explained that, if the cameras sending out patrols at the beaches and they see somebody coming out of the water, they can shine the light on them to see, are they just, like a late night swimmer, or are they vampire, and are they the vampire that we want to kill? So I guess it is useful in that way. Yes. Oh, we also learned from Professor Susanto that cloud on water is a bishop, was a bishop in the Sabbat, which is a pretty high-level ranking position, and had helped the camera to force the Sabbat out of Singapore and Malaysia about 3 to 4 years ago. She had come with 2 or 3 others, but they were privately introduced to the prince, and otherwise, the others tend to stay away from Camarilla Society, and that's all we know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sheena. Wow. So in our hiatus, we have had many things happen in the story, which I will catch you up on. Things are happening, but it's useful for me to know then, what have your characters been up to? We're going to start with Lisa. So Rachel has had 2 weeks. What has Rachel been up to, Lisa?
So Rachel is very well aware that her meeting with the prince is coming up soon. So she's been studying really, really hard, very Kiasu Singaporean style of all the traditions, just memorizing in front of the mirror as much as possible so she doesn't forget, because she really wants to make a good impression. So she's gone for like grooving classes, like makeup YouTube lessons, and trying different things so she can make the best impression. She's also been hanging out with Mike a bit, talking and discussing a little bit on why Moon is messaging him so much. She knows that Moon's interested in someone, but she hasn't really made the connection yet. And it's just, casually wondering, whereas Mike is just not sharing too much. Just maybe they would listen to the voice notes and be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Lisa. And so, Joe, what has Moon been up to?
So Moon has taken it upon herself to dress Rachel for this big meeting. So she's gone to all her usual spots, Bonito Flakes, her velvet face, I don't know, whatever other things there are, a suede dress. Okay, all these places, and just like gotten little like block shoppy kind of dresses for Rachel, and just going like, yeah, I think this one suits you, and then just like giving her way too many choices. So Rachel now has like 10 different dresses that she can choose from. She's been sending more fun voice notes to Mike, and just going in the middle of the night, good morning, it's a beautiful day, and then like emojis, and then just like telling him, hey, do you buy anything during the 11/11 sale? There's so many great things to buy. I would love to show you what I bought. And things like that. And she also on a more serious note, she's used a burner phone that she has to private message Zul's wife and kids. Zul's wife telling her to get out of Batam. So she's gonna check on her Facebook status as well, just to make sure that she's okay. Is she okay?
So far, it seems that Zul's wife has actually responded. Actually tried to respond, but because of the nature of the burner account, she can't. Your account doesn't exist. You sent it, and then it was there.
Okay.
But from what you can tell, it appears that she's no longer on Batam.
Okay, basically from her Facebook statuses and the photos that she's been taking.
It seems like she's no longer on Batam. It seems like she's gone to another part of Indonesia.
Okay, I send some more money over via Tariq's courier, and then I just sort of like busy myself with nice clothes for Rachel and messaging Mike.
It's logical that the money you've sent over is a large part of the reason why she's been able to get out.
Right, yeah. And also because Chantel asked me to ask Mike something, so I also used that excuse to get in contact with him more as well. Yes.
Yes. What have you been asking Mike?
Yes.
I'll come back to you later on that, because you'll be meeting him at Elysium later.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to Ramji first.
Asking for more bags of blood. Anyway, that's
more bags of blood.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine actually. Rachel can pass on that message to him. Ramji, I'm gonna come check in with you, and I'm gonna let you know about something first. You and Theo have been working hard on a particular project that you've been very proud of in connection with a rather famous personality named Zeus in the DeFi 2.0 space on crypto. And what you've created is a fork of the Olympus DAO. That fork, I'll allow you to name it. So you can name it literally whatever. Like the famous forks for it, there are things called Snowbank, Spartacus. There's a project called Time Wonderland, which is based on Alice in Wonderland. You can think about what your project could be. It could be related to if you wanted to.
Okay, and that's a lot of what Tariq's been working on, in fact, the last couple of weeks. So it's been a busy couple of weeks. He's had a couple of conversations with Samira, which I think I will kind of maybe touch on a little bit, but primarily a lot's been going on. So he's been his usual completely uncommunicative self. As his Corvus has received its gun license, which has meant that he's been tooling people up. Specifically, his security ghoul, who is a very capable and competent person, and he is making him his clips of ammunition are going to carry a tracer every third bullet. Okay. Which is a perfectly valid thing to do. Because
what's your ghoul's name, by the way?
Damn it, I haven't opened the file. Shush. One second. One second.
Don't worry so much about that now. So, but they don't have full tracer ammunition, but every third bullet is a tracer.
Every third bullet's a tracer, which is a valid thing to do for people that can't see in the dark. Right? Sure. So his name is Isaac or Ike. And he's a Tan. Okay. And so
did you just say he's the C word?
Pardon me?
No.
I heard he's a Ka.
No, he said Tan. Isaac Tan.
Oh, Tan. Thank you.
What do you think I said?
Never mind. I can't say that.
The first syllable of country. Anyway, moving on.
Yes. Okay. What about Isaac? Tan.
I need to learn that word. Now, okay, so yes, but no, so he's a former army sergeant and has been sort of with me for a while, and then we set up Corvus. He's kind of occasionally done a bit of wet work now and then, but on the whole is using all of his organizational skills to help build out that private military company. So yes, he is going to be in charge of the security, in fact, at Elysium, it seems. Well, not in charge, pardon me. He's going to be one of the teams running security, it seems, tonight at the Elysium. Tariq then checked in with Twa just to check that was legit. And apparently Al has hired Corvus, which in Tariq's mind has every single scent of trap that you could have. It's trap flavored cologne, it's trap flavored aftershave, it's trap flavored eau de toilette, and it's trap flavored body lotion. So Tariq is therefore.
Why is Tariq eating all these things? He should not be. He tasted all of them.
You know, and so he's therefore just a little concerned, and he will have sent a message to the Coterie just to say, hey, by the way, we got a great new gig. Actually, we're going to be doing some of the security at Elysium tonight. So that's great, isn't it? Question mark.
Yay! Congratulations! Yay! You got a new gig. So good, happy for you. Says comes the file, the voice file that has been converted and then sent via whatever software it is that we talk on. That I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Signal. That's right. Yeah.
So other than that, he is very much focused in on. We're going to call it. Is there one called Snowman, Ed?
You could call it Snowman.
We'll call it Snowman because Tariq wants to build a snowman. Here's
the trick, okay, Tariq. And if it works, you don't know whether it'll work, but it might work. So I need a 3 to 4 letter word acronym for the Snowman coin. What's it going to be called?
Snow.
Okay. So every SNOW token at launch, okay, and you're going to do a stealth launch at 7:30 p.m.
Mhm.
tonight, which is in 2 minutes' time. Every token at launch is valued at 1/1000th of a cent
Mhm.
USD. Right? So
Yep.
you will launch it, and the code that Theo has created will allow that whoever joins this particular DAO or liquidity pool that you've created to accumulate interest at 1 quintillion %. The trick is that as people add money to the pool, the value of that 1 quintillion will fall.
Mhm.
But it is a stupid amount of money. So it's not per day, it is per year.
Okay.
Okay, so think of it as magic internet money. The question is, you have decided that after 4 hours, you're going to pull the plug and you're going to pull out your initial. You have 1 million of these tokens
Mhm.
valued at 1/1000th of a cent each.
Mhm.
If they reach $1, you can do the math. So you're hoping that the price will go up. So
Okay.
we'll update you as the night goes on.
Okay.
Okay, so it's magic internet money. And now we're going to move on to Sheena. What's Chantel been up to?
Well, she's been trying to do a bit of matchmaking. She realized that Moon possibly has a thing for what's his name?
Mike.
Mike, yes, that's right. And therefore has decided to, since we want to build a little bit of a connection with the La Sombras, to ask her to reach out. The other thing that she's been up to is basically just going around to various graveyards to see if she can find more ghosts to talk to. Because if the La Sombras are not going to teach her Oblivion, it's okay. She's going to figure out what she can do on her own.
So, which particular graveyard have you been to most often? Like, choose one.
Okay, she'll probably go to... Actually, rather than a proper graveyard, she'll go to like Bukit Brown.
Okay. You've met... so you found that at Bukit Brown, there's a small community of spirits.
Oh.
They appear to... It feels almost like kampong. They're all gathered in their own little spaces as if there were houses in the graveyard. And at first you were a bit hesitant about going in and interacting with them. And so far they haven't been speaking to you per se, but they've become very accustomed to your presence. At first you could tell that they were keeping away from you, but on your 5th night, you can tell that they've realized that, oh, you can see them. And not only that you're not afraid of them. Okay.
Okay, I make friends if I can. I try to communicate with them. I bring like the usual sort of offerings that we tend to use, like joss paper and all that stuff. And then just to see how they react to it. Like if they accept those offerings, then she'll bring more.
The thing about these spirits, interestingly, is that they don't speak to you. You wonder if they can't speak. But what they do is that because they change color when they react to you, these spirits have emotions. What the hell? What happens is that you've been able to figure out what makes them happy and what makes them unhappy. So like every night you bring different things and you're like, you want this, you see what they prefer, you see what they don't like. Yeah. So you found that, for example, some of the spirits, and you can recognize the shape of them. Because sometimes they're a bit blurry, but at least there's some tall ones, some short ones, some slightly wider, some slightly slimmer. And you're just like, oh, okay. Okay, this one. You've made up your own names for them. I'll let you name them yourself. There's 3 in particular. The tall and wide one, the small and round one, and and a medium one, so small, medium, and large. Okay, that you're particularly good friends with. Okay, and they really like it when you bring them kueh lapis.
Kueh lapis. Okay,
Yes, they can't eat it, but they
but they like to
really
smell it.
they really like it when you bring it and put it where their house is. You wonder
Okay.
if they were a family.
Oh.
You wonder, you're not sure, you suspect, but they really like kueh lapis. So that's the one sort of ghost family that you're very familiar with.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Casey, Chantel, the small, medium, and large. And you've also found yourself getting quite chummy with Stephen, actually.
Mm.
You've discovered where his hangout is because of the time you've spent. You sort of split your time between the graveyard and Orchard Road. So like in the early part of the evening, you know to go and hang out with Stephen and go stare at people together and maybe chat a bit. And then in the later part of the night, you head out to Bukit Brown.
Cool. How I do talk to him about the ghosts, and how is his reaction towards them?
He doesn't. He tells you honestly that he's a bit freaked out by them.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
that's okay.
He prefers people the living. He tells you living better, living dead. No, don't touch the dead. No, living better. Don't touch the dead. Living still can change. Got chance. Got potential. Got future. Dead, no future.
Huh. So it sounds like Stephen's very into changing people in a way, huh?
Yes. Which brings us to tonight. Speaking of change, changes are afoot. Tonight is Elysium. And as all of you arrive at about 8 p.m.
Ed, sorry, just one small point of order. One other thing that Tariq will have done is once he got the gun license, he'll have also tested whether or not when he shoots a gun, his quietus ability suppresses the noise from the gun.
Yes, it does.
Then he will also be tooled up with bullets and a tracer every third round with
but
proper
Samira has warned you that if you are found, you and your ghouls are found with traces on you, some kindred might take offense.
And they're just there because my ghouls don't see in the dark, and it's a perfectly valid tactical thing to have a tracer every third round.
Okay, but for yourself, you also have to keep that in mind. Okay, if you're found with incendiary ammunition on yourself, Samira has specifically warned you, some kindred will really take offense. Especially because you are going to Elysium, you're thinking in your head you're good enough friends with Tor that it won't be such a big issue, and that technically you are in charge of security, so why not be armed, and that's fine. So that's your reasoning in your head. So which is why you saying that you're going to be armed, yes, I'm fine with that because you've rationalized it.
Okay. But the incendiaries are considered a bit of a no-go, in which case I will probably not keep them as live ammo in the clips for me. There will be a entirely separate, very well hidden clip that we'll have.
Okay. How many Corvus personnel are on site?
There's not actually that many in the company as yet because we've been waiting for the license, right? So there's a total of however many you let me have, but I think it's probably about 8, I'd say.
So your ghoul plus 7 modules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and all of those will have been properly checked out, and probably actually I'll have asked Chantal to have and passed them in front of Chantal to make sure that there's nothing weird about them. There's no blood magic on them. They're not controlled or bloodbound to someone else or anything like that.
I'm part of the security detail. Oh.
So Chantal, as far as you can tell, they're clean. What Tariq did for you is that he had you look at them through a two-way mirror from another room. So they never saw you.
Does it work through the two-way mirror?
I'm assuming it does because it's
just a mirror. It's not a
glass.
digital thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll just check because I've got to check my thaumaturgy thing. But I think I'll also make sure that there's a blood sample for all of them, and I'll have done the taste of Vitae thing.
So I'll just let you know also, Tariq, that Isaac has proposed that 2 of his men will be stationed permanently at the main entrance to Elysium, which is Istana Kampung Glam. All right, it's the building right next to it's right behind my head, actually. It's the building right next to the Sultan Mosque. It's a very gorgeous historical building. And it's the actual former residence of the royalty on Singapore. Right? This is the actual. So for those of you who are interested in visiting Singapore, this actually is where the remnants of the royal family that once ruled this island actually lived for the longest time. There's a lot of history related to it, and some recent unsavory stuff came up about the fact that they had to squat in it for a while because of disputes with the government. So you can read up about all that. It's a very interesting, very beautiful place. Okay. Isaac has split his team into 4 teams of 2. He will be with one of the men roaming. There's a team permanently on site at the gate, and 2 teams that will prowl the grounds. He and one more guy will be in the main building with you.
They all have, because we've spent some money on it, they all have those really cool little with the coil and the air conductive earphones, right? The bone conductor sort of things. But also they will all have a little handheld video that they can use. So cool. Can.
Same thing for yourself then. You have comms to all of them. Okay, just quick check with Lisa, Sheena, and Joe. Any special preparations you'll make before Elysium? Anything that I need to know that you're bringing or that you're doing just before it?
I am wearing flats and a pantsuit instead of my usual dress and heels because of what Sasa has told me, which is that something might be going down tonight and be prepared to run. So I'm like, what's going on?
Have you told the rest of the coterie about it?
I'll ask Sasa if I can tell.
She tells you, okay, but don't say too much because Sasa tells you she's actually not sure what it is.
Okay.
So what do you tell the rest of the coterie actually?
Hi. Okay, everyone. I'm sending you this text because I don't know whether this is safe to send over a voice message. So therefore, for once in my life, I'm sending you a message, and then she takes very, very, very long time to type slowly. She's like, so as my sire says that tonight, maybe there will be something happening. So maybe don't wear high heels in case suddenly something happened. She also don't really have any details, but I guess if I see her run, I will run. If you see me run, you run. So just pass it on, okay? Yeah. And then also, then I'll P.S. Rachel. Hey, Rachel, I asked Mike for 2 bags of his bodily fluids as a joke. Haha, I mean the blood. Do you think he finds it funny? Of his excellent bodily fluids. Anyway, that's the end of my message.
Okay.
Excellent bodily fluids is not a sentence you hear every day.
Yeah, that's why Mike will remember me.
Well, his excellent body fluids flow through Rachel too. Just making a quick note of that.
Right. Oh yeah, my God. Okay, so Rachel has conveniently forgotten to follow up about the bodily fluids. She does take Moon's warning to heart, and she still wears a nice dress that is flowy enough to be able to run in if possible. And instead of stilettos, I've opted for a thicker heel that is not too high but still very presentable. And in her usual prepared manner, she has gotten those those flat anti-thief kind of bags that you wear close to your skin. And she has packed a few first aid things from a camping bag, a couple of Swiss Army knives and stuff. So just to be prepared in general, generally what you would a very well prepared scout would bring. Especially since she doesn't know any details. So her idea of being prepared.
Mike reminds you when he sees you packing that we can just use our vampiric powers to heal our wounds, right?
I I mean, yeah, but I'm quite a lot more comfortable with this at the moment. So I just don't know what's up yet. So that's what I'm going for. I mean, I will try, but you know, if I panic in the moment, this is what I know.
Okay, might leaves you to it. Chantel, anything?
She's just going to go get herself a nice little black dress.
Okay.
Nothing too fancy, nothing too how you say? She doesn't want to stand out too much in a bad way, but she wants to look formal enough for the occasion.
Raffles sent you a message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So did you respond to him?
Yeah.
Or
What message did you send me?
Raffles, so if you check on Discord, Raffles sent you a message.
Oh yeah,
saying
his
that-
time to shine tonight, right?
Yes. And you have no bloody idea what he
Yeah.
means.
Which is why I am going to two blue tick him.
All right. It's 8 p.m. as the Coterie arrives. It's a beautiful setup, the fountain going, the beautiful architectural lighting. So there you are waved in because you are with Tariq. So no issues with security. You'll notice that his personnel look very professional and look very competent. And all four of you make your way into the main Istana building. You see that inside of it, really the exterior belies the opulence of the interior. It's really been done up. As you realize that this is where Puan Bulang technically stays. This is her family home, as it were. It's pretty gorgeous, I have to say. Very bling also. Now, here's the surprise. Remember the first time you all went to Elysium, one of the funky things that happened was that the Banu Hakim were making a show of just being above everyone and being very special. Tonight, seated quietly in a corner, is Puan Bulang reading a book,
Alone? By herself?
accompanied by Tua and Chibat, who are dressed in a color that's a bit different from what you're used to. They're normally dressed in these deep maroon, almost black colors. Tonight, they're dressed in these like bright pink, rather red colored outfits. Tariq, you're a bit taken aback also. You've never seen them wear bright colors. They're usually dressed in quite dark colors, as if they're meant to stand out. And you notice that Tua and Jabat look much more stony-faced than usual. All right. Immediately you'll sense that there's something in the air, and something's not quite right. Okay, which kind of contradicts with how calm Puan Bulang is sitting there reading a book. And eventually everyone arrives. You see that there's 30 plus kindred in the room tonight. There doesn't appear to be a herd that's been provided, which is why I think it's useful at this point to remind all the players to make your rouse checks to check your hunger level. So roll a d10. If it's lower than, okay. If it's lower than 6, roll again.
Us
Pass.
Alan.
just
Perfect. Okay, you're all at hunger level 1. When everyone is in, Al walks up and says, hello everyone, thank you for coming. It's very nice to see you all again. So this is Elysium, so as usual, you all know the rules. Don't anyhow use your disciplines. Got weapons, don't use them. No violence, otherwise twice to kill you. Nobody laughs. It looks even more stone-faced. Okay, so tonight actually a few things to go through. Some rather interesting things that we don't normally have to deal with. First thing is that we need to get the newbies introduced. This time only got one. He gestures towards Rachel and says, so from Clan Tremere, finally Clan Tremere now increased by 50%. Oh, there's now 3 Tremere. Oh, long time.
Tremere.
Yeah, good joke. Okay, so Mike. Then Mike stands up and says, thank you, Sadisco. I would like to introduce my child, Rachel. Then El nods, turns around to Puan Bulang and says, Prince, may I please present the newest addition to your court? Puan Bulang nods. He turns back. He says, Rachel, please approach. Rachel, you are feeling the glares almost of 30 plus vampires in the room all staring at you as you walk forward. It puts a little bit of pressure on you, but you manage to maintain your composure. As Mike has taught you, you kneel when you reach the base of the sort of small platform where the prince is seated. And then the prince raises her hand and lowers it. And Al says to you, okay, so Rachel, now that you are a member of the Camarilla, you must prove that you are familiar with the ways of the Camarilla. What is the first tradition?
Thou shalt not reveal thy true nature to those not of the blood.
Yeah, so it's called the what? Starts with M.
The Masquerade.
Thank you. The second tradition?
The domain. Thy domain is thine own concern.
Yeah, so don't anyhow, huh? Okay, good. Third tradition?
The progeny. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder.
This one. Can you repeat it again for those in the back as they say? A bit louder.
Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder.
It is at this point, Chantel, that you realize that Stephen is not here. Fourth tradition?
The accounting. Those thou create are thine own children.
Very important. The fifth tradition?
The hospitality. Honor one another's domain.
Yes, especially the prince's domain. And the final tradition?
The destruction. Thou art forbidden to destroy another of thy kind.
Unless given permission by who?
Thine elder.
Correct. Thank you, Rachel. Welcome to the Camarilla. Everyone, please welcome her with applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel, as you are dismissed as Al gestures for you to move back towards the other two from here. It's not a very big group. But something is quite wrong. There is something in the air, folks. You're feeling very uncomfortable. Why did he ask Rachel to repeat that? And you find out as Elle says, okay, so next order of business. Unfortunately, we have to do this. I hand over to the sheriff. 2 steps forward. It is with great sadness that we have to inform you all that one of the traditions of the Camarilla has been violated and that a blood hunt has been called on the Malkavian permission.
I instinctively turn around to look at Chantel.
What's Chantel
Chantel
doing?
is looking quite stunned. Then after that,
Raffles.
she looks over at Raffles.
Raffles is looking quite smug. So it's been brought to our attention that
Sorry.
that Stephen, the Malkavian primogen, has embraced a child without the permission of the prince. Stephen is currently unaccounted for. So, because he has refused the prince's summons, the bloodhound has been called on him. Anyone who is able to provide us with evidence of his destruction will be given a major boon by the prince. The room is dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. But Chantal, you cannot help but notice that Raffles is almost beaming standing next to you. He seems really pleased with this turn of events. That said, this means that the primogen position for Malkavian is open. I hand back to the Senesco. Oh, thank you very much, for the
question.
sheriff. Yes.
Sorry. As I'm scanning the room with the heightened senses, does anybody else react or notice or look like they knew? Like who sort of like is giving off what signals?
The only people who don't look shocked are Georgina, Bruce, the Judge Magnus.
You can keep it on, Bruce.
Yeah. Run. Colin Water is there. She does not look shocked. Starsa is actually looking quite shocked.
So it's basically the primogens who are quite okay.
So they've clearly been informed beforehand.
Yeah.
All right. So deliberations will proceed for the election of the new primogen. Some of you will know if you have been in the other courts. Sometimes the prince just nominate and then appoint the primogen. But in Singapore, Wan Bulang believes that we get to choose our own leaders. Okay, as a community, not just amongst the clans. So the other primogen will vote for the new primogen. Which means that it will be either, he looks, he points at Raffles, Mr. Raffles, and he points at Chantal, or Miss Chantal.
Chantal is just looking shell-shocked before this. After that, she's like...
So, okay. I leave it to the court to deliberate.
Wow.
Puan Bulang has given you all 30 minutes to do so. Please proceed.
It's only the primogens who get the vote, yeah?
But so what you understand from what he said, that everybody gets to talk about it.
Okay.
But the votes come from the primogen.
Okay.
And so as he walks back, suddenly there's this buzz of talking, whispering. And you find the coterie finds itself suddenly sort of alone. The four of you are by yourselves as everybody else has broken up into their separate coteries and cliques.
Okay. Well, Chantal, how ready are you to assume leadership of your clan? Because no offense, but I think your sire is maybe not the best person suited to these jobs.
I think he will be very upset if he doesn't get it.
Yeah, but he can't be upset with his boss, right?
He can.
Okay, but his boss can be upset back with him, and the boss being upset means more than him being upset with his boss. So if you want to take care of yourself, you don't want him to do crazy things, maybe we need to go and influence people to vote for you, okay? 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 That's not the bad way, okay?
No, Moon.
Okay?
Moon, no.
Okay, bye-bye. Mumu is gonna go and talk
Before Mamoon goes, Tariq will just say, I don't know that we need to do much influencing. It seems that the chess game has already been played.
There's a game?
It makes sense now why Miss Lee and the others are perhaps so keen on your good favor, Miss Chantal. I look forward to your elevation.
But I will just be a puppet.
But we are already puppets. Okay, like I have to do. I cannot hang out with y'all. I have to go and do whatever Star says. You know, at least now, if you want to be your own woman, you can be your own woman. Okay, you don't have to wait around for people to say you can do things.
You have a long time ahead of you to learn to pull your own strings.
I suppose, all Stephen ever did was just hang out at Orchard Road and stare at people, and then occasionally ask them weird questions. If that's all a primogen has to do, then I guess it's not so hard.
Isn't that what you already do, Chantel?
I guess.
Okay? Okay?
But, I don't think in that case we need to influence anybody, because those people would already make sure that I will get it, and I don't want to piss Raffles off.
Okay.
And it's at this point, as you say that Georgina sidles up with Bruce beside her and
Hello,
says
Georgina.
to you, so Bruce and I were just wondering whether you would be interested in the position. Of course, your sire is the senior candidate, but we just wanted to find out what your thoughts on it were, especially since, we live with you, that she loves her.
It would be a great honor, but I am very young, and I'm not certain that I am best suited for the position. It would, however, I glance over at Raffles, like, is he paying any attention to this?
Raffles is currently
Or is he just smug as fuck?
in the middle of the room in animated discussion with the Nosferatu primogen.
Right. It would help to put some distance between us, so that would be not a bad thing.
She turns to Bruce and says, so you think we can arrange for our good neighbor to have a seat on the council? Bruce shrugs and says, she will certainly be a much better choice then. Then he shakes his head and walks away. Georgina turns back to you and says, Chantel, now, I want you to be very clear that just because you are young doesn't mean that you are weak or easily manipulated. If we fight for this position for you, we expect you to stand up for yourself and your clan and for Singapore. You understand what I'm saying?
I will do what I can. I am not a combatant, but I will contribute and make sure that our society is kept intact.
Good. I'd like to hear that. See, the actual fighting will be done by, she gestures at Tariq. Good men. Like our friend Tariq. But, you have a new friend. Hello, what's your name? She looks at you, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Hello, you're very new, huh?
And you're very pretty.
Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. So she's just saying it. Chantel, Moon, Rachel, all three of you know she knows it. She's just saying it to be polite. Okay. She says to you, Rachel, so what do you think of your good friend, Chantel? Would she make a good primogen?
Well, since the beginning, Chantel has always been very nice and kind to me and guiding me very patiently. So I think she would do a good job, but I'm concerned on whether or not she wants to be one.
Oh, but she just said she's interested.
Will she be given time to think about it?
Well, we have another 28 minutes. She lost maybe 27 before we have to make a decision. How about you, Moon? What do you think?
Yes, of course. I think that Chantel will be a wonderful candidate. I think that she will represent her clan very well. She's got the bearing. She's very sensible. So yeah, definitely. If I could vote, she will have my vote.
Oh, good, good. It's very good to hear the two of you vouching for her. Then she pauses, and then she turns to you, Tariq, and smiles, as if expecting you to say something.
Dick just smiles, goes back and says, "You are most gracious, Miss Lee."
You see Bruce staring at you. You're not quite sure why he's staring at you, but he's staring at you. And Georgina says, well, we do have to discuss things with a few of the others, but this has been a good talk, Chantel. I look forward to seeing more of you in court. And then she turns away.
Wait, Georgina,
Ah, yes.
because I am so new and I don't know what really to do, I hope that you can guide me along if I become primogen.
Oh, sure, but please, please don't ever feel like you have to follow what I say. I'll just teach you all the
As I
ways
say
of the
that
code.
though,
Hmm.
as I say that though, I look at her aura. What do I see?
She's fucking lying.
Okay, but in what way?
She thinks that she's being very sly and manipulative about it.
But is she very satisfied? Like, does she really want me to become?
Oh yeah, she seems quite happy. The sense you get from her aura is that she seems quite happy to support you. Oh shit, you're reading her aura. Okay, you're gonna have to hide the fact that you're reading her aura.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I always look
funny.
a bit
It's default, isn't it? It's a
vague.
passive.
It's not really that passive lah.
Oh, it's not okay.
Because
Okay, let me double
there
check.
is a little bit of effort involved in that. So Chantel, I'm gonna have to ask you to hide the fact
Yeah.
that you are reading her aura. Okay.
Can no problem.
I'm not too sure what you should roll though. Is there like a sort of subterfuge or stealth?
There's subterfuge, yes.
Oh, subterfuge. Okay, manipulation plus subterfuge. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That works for me.
Yep. And she's
Let's
gonna
see.
oppose that with her wits plus.
Okay, I'm gonna
insight.
pump blood. Okay, pass. Let's
You
hide.
know how many successes you have. This is with yeah.
I got 5.
Okay. Is that your total?
Yes.
I need you to make a wits plus insight roll.
Okay. Wits plus insight. Insight is 3. Oh wow! Holy shit. Okay, wait. 5, 6, 6.
You notice, Chantel,
Yep.
that even though you were trying very hard to hide it,
Mm-hmm.
you know that
She knows.
that she knows that you've been reading her aura,
Yeah.
but you also read that she doesn't care.
Okay. Okay.
And it's all about the externality of it. It's like her face it has not cracked. It's been a perfect sort of veneer of sincerity and authenticity.
Girl can bluff. Can.
All right, she is a social monster.
Yeah. As they go away, I turn to the rest of the group. Well, I was planning to pit one kaiju against another, and I think it worked. But I think I might become the last Malkavian left in this place.
Well, you're still, you're still young. Don't say that. You still got a life ahead of you. A lot of
No,
interesting
I
boys.
mean, they might try to get rid of Raffles.
Oh,
This is their plan all along, which is okay, I understand. I just feel bad for Steven, though. I don't know how he got tricked.
do you think he really started somebody?
Maybe he likes people who can be changed. Maybe they found the perfect person for him, I don't know.
Okay. BRB. Moon is going to go and talk to Bruce.
Okay.
To who?
Quick chat.
Mm.
Okay. Bruce is happy to speak to you.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
Hi. You look nice today.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. And so anyway, I was wondering, right? I sent you all the message about trying to trust somebody back in Indonesia because it's quite important. I didn't manage to hear from you. So
Oh, so sorry. I get a lot of messages. It must have gotten lost in my inbox.
okay.
Hmm.
So how do you want to proceed? I mean, like, because I think it's got to do with, the creatures that have been attacking Singapore. So is that something that you worry about?
I can tell you that for now, the threat is significantly diminished.
Is it?
Yes, because Jakarta has informed us that as of last night, Rico is no longer on Batam.
But I thought the moment he's on Batam, that means he's taken over Batam already. So
I don't think you should underestimate the court in Jakarta. The Indonesians are powerful, but Indonesia is a very big place. It just takes them a long time to get to places and do things.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, bye. That's your time. Moon is very like, what the fuck? Like, she's very suspicious. But she doesn't say anything. I mean, she just kind of like goes back to the Coterie. Yeah, I think it'd be good if you become more powerful, Chantel. I think it'd be very good. Yeah.
And just at that moment, Moon, your primogen comes up with your sire.
让人叔你好大姐
so good to see you. So good. Oh, yes. Good to see you. Oh, you're providing security today. He reaches out his hands to shake yours, Terry.
Tariq will shake his hand.
So good to see you. I've always believed that you are the best candidate because you are the type of people that will know what to do in this situation.
让人叔 I think the candidate is Chantel, this one.
Oh, no. I was just complimenting your friend, Tariq, right?
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate your kind and gracious words, Elder.
Always my best security. All your type one. All through the years. Always. I always ask to hire your type.
让人叔 anyway, this is my friend Chantel. I'm sort of like, I get in between Run and Tariq. This is my friend
Excuse me,
Chantel.
I will just be checking the rest of the security.
Good. You see, he's so good. Wow, they're always so responsible.
Tariq is stepping away before he has to roll willpower.
I mean, if you shoot him, nobody will hear. Everybody will see it, but nobody will hear.
But you can hear it with your heightened
Not if it's obfuscated.
you can hear it with your heightened senses anyway, right? You have to go like 50 meters, like 100 meters away. You can hear exactly what Run saying.
It's so frustrating.
I'm trying to, aware of this, I try to talk very loudly, but anyway, I'm like, Chantel, small girl, Richard.
Oh, yeah, good to see. Oh, speaking of small girl, you're new, he says to Rachel.
You're new.
Yes, I am. Thank you
good
for
to have
everyone
fresh
for.
blood. Fresh blood, so good.
Yes. I'm very happy to be here. Nice to meet you.
He's holding your hand a little longer than is comfortable. He's holding your hand.
She's a bit too intimidated to really
Moon
force.
sacrifices. Ranranshu! Give Ranranshu a big hug. So good to see you.
Good. Ranranshu puts his hand around your waist, Moon Moon.
Rachel is very grateful to Moon Moon.
It's like, Star. Is there anything that we need to do? I'm so just running.
So wanted to talk to you, Chantel. Wow. So you want to know? You want to know?
What do you think I should do?
I think you always want to. People give you a chance. You should always take it. That's what I always tell all the actresses when they came to see me. You want the chance? You take it. These chances don't come very often. So you must seize it. People give you the opportunity. Take it. Always take the offer.
I think you're right. You're a very wise man.
I am it's like making sure that Ram doesn't try anything with his other hand. Yeah.
And it's like you can see that you can probably tell that Chantel is faking it. But yeah, she's also quite used to dealing with men like him, so she kind of figures that he's gonna lap it up anyway.
Yeah, do this fucking scene. So it's really, if he's putting up an act of being a doddering old fool, he's very good at it. All right?
Okay.
Because, wow, holy crap, after another 3 minutes of absolute awkwardness, finally, Moon Moon, you're able to usher him away.
Yeah.
And get Star to... together, you see Moon Moon and Star work together to just get him away. And then Moon Moon finally comes back with this look of absolute horror on her face.
But before I come back and go and ask Star, I'm like, 大姐. So I have to say, some of the people like, Georgina, I don't know. The more I know about them, the more it's very strange. But I will do what you tell me. So, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, you don't need to vote. I also don't need to vote. Don't worry. This kind of thing, just leave it to them.
Okay.
You just then she leans in closer to you. You just support Chantel. Where if whatever the result, you support Chantel, okay?
Are there any drinks being served? Is there any attempts at discussing this as a human gathering at all?
There is blood being served by at a bar in fluted glasses.
Okay, I mean, are there bottles of anything?
There are bottles of alcohol around, but they're not being opened.
Okay, just to be safe, I grab onto one, and I bring it back to the Coterie.
Okay. So you're back at the Coterie. Tariq, you've come back now that you've noticed that.
Tariq is actually going to come back, but he's also wants to briefly stop via Al if Al has an opening in the people he's discussing to.
Yeah, Al notices you, and then he says, "Oh, your company is quite good, huh?"
Elder, it's very kind of you.
I don't need to call me Elder, just call me Al. Hey, so you got your firearms license, huh?
We have, yes.
So I noticed that you all place order for tracer rounds.
We do for the pool security, make sure, because they cannot see in the dark.
Okay. So I better tell you first. I mean, I'm not taking any offense, but some people will be upset if they find out.
Well, we figured that it was sensible given the recent events, and they are all on the outside of the perimeter. So hopefully I will have your assistance in explaining to anybody that was to be concerned that this is purely a precautionary measure.
Remind you that you're the only person who's armed other than the sheriff and his assistants in this room.
And I hope very much there will be no use of those weapons.
Good, because if anything happens, then I have to ask you to do it, lah. Otherwise, it's not good. Oh, are you planning to pick up the major boon? To those tracer rounds to good use, right? He points at where it's hidden on your body, that special clip.
If we are in a position of great danger, I will, of course, take whatever action to protect the prince.
Don't waste the major boon. Just take it. You never know when you need it. Like sometimes if you get caught, or Blood Hunt gets caught on you, for example, then you say, "Hey, I got major boon." Oh, then it's all forgotten. Isn't it amazing? So these things are very useful. Good to know. You know what they say, a life for a life, right? So if I were you, I think about it. It's a good opportunity. That's you on the back.
I always learn from our discussions, Elder. Now, pardon me.
Good. He gives you a thumbs up. And he says, as he walks across the room, away from you.
Tariq is obviously a little concerned at this. And will wander back.
And as you wander back, oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, so just wander back via the sheriff and just check in that everything is going to the plan that they had for the evening.
Toss is, about 15 minutes more, then they vote. Then we got a new primogen, so then the court is complete, and then we can go off and hunt down the perpetrator. Is not pleasant, but we do these things from time to time.
I briefly mention the intel that I've got from both Al and also from Bar, and then also to Toi, just explain to him, both my ghouls and I are carrying trace around, based on the fact that we're looking externally to Sabat defenses, etc.
Oh, okay. But he lowers his voice to whisper, this kind of thing, you have to be, a lot of people very sensitive about this.
Understood. That's why I wished for you to know, Sheriff.
Okay, good. But some people get very offended, especially the older ones. They get very offended if they know that you carry the burning ammunition.
Understood.
Okay. Then you follow his eyes, and he's looking over at Georgina and Judge Wagner, the Nosferatu and Ventru primogens. Okay. As you make your way back, speaking of the Nosferatu primogen, Richard Wagner has approached the group and is chatting with you. So I hear that you're one of the candidates. Oh, so strange to be have this thrust upon you, isn't it? He says to you, Chantal.
Yes, it is. It is most unexpected honor. Her face is as bland as she can get it.
He looks at Rachel and then he says, "Oh, actually, I realized that she's not formally part of your coterie yet, but she's spending a lot of time with you all."
Yes,
Yeah.
Rachel is like our little sister.
Will you be petitioning the prince for her to be added to your coterie?
If she wants us.
I would love to.
Oh, good. Yeah, then you should petition the prince. And she's right there. So, I always ask the candidates for the primogeniture because it's a very important position. I always come and ask them, what will you do for the court? What is it you want for Singapore? He looks at you expectantly, Chantal.
I want us to be safe from the Sabbat, and I want us to be able to do our own business without the interruption of other people.
Safety, independence, Those are good things. I would say your sire has taught you well, but he looks across at Raffles. Your sire has grander plans if he's elected. And he shakes his head.
Oh, what are those plans?
He wants to, he's running on this platform on which he wants to make sure that we expand aggressively our influence.
Oh, how do you feel about that?
You know, I think we can afford to increase our numbers, but to be in this sensitive climate, to be extending our reach too fast would be, I feel, a big risk to be taking. You
I
wouldn't do
agree.
that, would you?
No, I think it has to be. Caution is important because of the masquerade.
Yes, that's very wise of you. See, be wise beyond your years. You always complain that you're young, but be
Well,
nice
I
as it.
don't complain. It's more of a factual thing. But also, I guess because I'm not very powerful, so I can't really defend myself, which is why I play it safe.
Power. What is power? You hear about all these old fellas being taken down by the young kids. Power is nothing. It is what you make of it.
You just quote a movie. Yes, you're very wise, but I guess it's hard for us to see what we can do until we're put in the position. I mean, I don't think many people will vote for me because I'm so young, and he is my sire. But
Oh, you'll be surprised. Yeah, it depends on you've been saying all the right things from what I hear.
oh, I didn't mean to be political. It's just how I feel.
An unwilling candidate. Very good. It's always the ones that have power thrust upon them. Those are the ones. He leaves his sentence unfinished as he points at you and nods. And as he walks away, it's Julian. It's like, he walks away and then you see it's Julian staring at you. He's not nearby, but he's staring at you. It's a little creepy.
Okay, we have accidentally made direct eye contact.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's not walking over, he's just staring at you in a really creepy way.
Okay. I will be polite and kind of do a small wave / nod. And then after that, I'll
And he
turn
picks
to
it up
Rachel.
and as you're turning to Rachel, you realize to your horror that he's picked it up as a cue to come and approach you. And he's practically jogging across the room.
Shit.
Moon and Tariq, the two of you have returned from your chats with Bruce and with Tua to see Julian approaching at speed as Chantel is chatting to Rachel. Chantel, you can talk to Rachel first.
Yeah. I turn to Rachel and my words as I see him approach are, oh no, I was just trying to be polite.
Who is he?
He's Julian. He's my stalker, I guess.
What?
It's okay. It's fine. Just pretend he's normal.
Should we leave, like go somewhere else and then turn away?
I don't think I can anymore. We're a
At
bit
this point-
stuck.
At this point, Moon comes back, right? So she's been counting in her brain. She's going, Margavian, Toreador, Ventru, Nosferatu. She looks at Julian, she sees Nosferatu. She looks at Rachel, she says, Tremere. And she sees Tariq coming back. She's like, and she sees Julian as well. She's like, okay, Chantal will be okay. Rachel, come. We need to go and talk to Mike. So
Oh, okay.
we need to go. Come, we need to go. There's only 20 minutes left.
Rachel looks at Chantel and Julian that is approaching.
Tariq is also walking over.
So I look at Chantal. I'm like, And then I sort of like arrange your outfit. And then I pull Rachel away to go and talk to Mike.
Okay.
Bye.
Briefly exchange
Rachel
glances
looks.
with Moon.
Rachel follows, but is looking very concerned at Chantel.
I briefly exchange glances with Moon to work out whether she wants me to go with them or if she wants me to stay with Chantal.
Knowing that Tariq is very bad at social cues, Momo is like pointing to Chantel.
Yeah.
And then I bring Rachel, and then I'm gonna bring her to talk to Mike and the scientist whose name I know, Ronnie Susanto. That's right.
Okay. So I'm not going to run the scene, but I'm just going to let Chantel and Tariq know that Julian is there being incredibly grovelingly complimentary to Chantel. And Tariq, you are managing things and making sure he's not getting too close, making sure that you're doing your best to read Chantel's body language and the cues. Tariq's there to keep things, on the straight and level.
On the PG.
Yes. So Chantel, you're also doing your best to be polite. We're going to switch very quickly to the scene with Moon and Rachel. Actually, you find them at the bar. It's Mike and Professor Ronnie are having this rather animated discussion, as far as you can tell, about hermetic fractal theory.
So we cannot tell, basically.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
So Moon and Rachel cannot tell.
Something, so if at this angle, if you take the cosine and then you put it.
Dr. Susanto, Mike, hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. So we just want to check that everything's okay, and I sort of pull Rachel and said, so Rachel, as you know, we're going to petition for her to be part of Coterie, and we want to make sure that she's well taken care of, What do you think about that? Is that a good idea?
Yes, it's a very good idea.
Yeah, so I mean, as we know, our Coterie is very new, it's not very influential. And we just want to make sure that, we can take care of Rachel properly, since she's one of the very few Tremere. So, yeah, I understand that y'all will be voting soon. So, we will really appreciate your support. We want to make sure that Rachel is properly taken care of.
Okay, so you want Rachel to be added to your coterie. Okay, no problem.
And, of course, if you could spare a vote for Chantel, I predict that we know each other very well.
And Mike leans over to say, "Oh yeah. You do kind of have to go and talk to Chantel before you make your vote." Professor Ronnie, why do I have to talk to her? I already know her. No, you have to. You have to let everyone see that you've interviewed the candidate. But I don't want to talk to Raffles.
I don't want to talk to Raffles.
Yeah, that's why maybe you should consider there's one more candidates. And then I sort of like, again, I know he's socially not very aware, so I'm like, ladder one? Talk to Chantel.
Oh, so no, that's what I'm telling. I already know Chantel, so okay.
Okay, well, if you want, she's over there.
No, it's fine. So I'm telling you, he takes out a napkin and then he starts sketching something.
Oh my god,
He's back in the conversation with Mike already.
Just 1 second. So Mr. Mike, and I'm very professional. I'm like, I don't know whether Rachel managed to pass a message about your bodily fluids, how we want some more.
Sorry.
Mike is looking at you with
the one
blinking.
the blood, the one, the flavor, the healthy and the non-healthy blood.
He gulps and says, okay, batch 22.
But at the same time, I'm like, did I manage to get through? I'm like, yeah, did you manage to bring some with you? I don't know whether Rachel asked you to, have your bodily fluids standing by.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I was studying really hard.
And they're not my bodily fluids.
I said, well, they're excellent. In any case, do you have any on you by any chance?
He starts holding up his wrist.
I mean the batch 22.
Oh no, that's back at the lab.
Okay.
Okay.
Never mind. That's okay. That's okay. Thank you. It's wonderful speaking to you. And then I drag Rachel to go and talk to Water.
Oh, it's clown
you
water
don't
there?
you don't have to. Clown Water has dismissed Julian.
Oh.
Yeah. So here's what happened. As Moon and Rachel were walking back, Clown Water just walked up. She's actually not in a red dress. She's in this gorgeous black gown, and she's shamelessly walked right up to you, glared at Julian, and Julian lowered his eyes and walked away.
Ooh.
She's like,
Thank
okay,
you.
dread gaze without the dread gaze.
I look at her and I allow a little bit of gratitude to come through on my face. Thank you.
You don't have to thank me for anything.
But I think we got off on the wrong foot and I want to apologize.
Good. It is accepted.
We are arranging more of the tasty blood to come to your way.
I appreciate it, but I want to let you know that as much as we like gifts, she smiles, we also don't like owing favors to people.
Mm. We have a clean slate between us.
Good. I like that. You understand where we stand. And she looks at Rachel and Moon as you join back. Then she glances at Tariq, then looks back at you, Chantel. So I suppose you appear to be the favorite.
I wouldn't say that. I am younger and less powerful, but being younger and less powerful also means I have a clean slate with most people.
You're less obviously crazy than your sire.
Mm.
That's very important for Malkavian.
It's hard how the affliction hits us. We don't always have a choice.
I had a Malkavian in my team before. I always made sure that he kept his crazy to himself. It's very important. All the Malkavians that show off their crazy, then she glances at Raffles. Don't get very far.
I guess I'm fortunate people just think I'm a bit slow.
Good. Then people will underestimate you. It is good to be underestimated.
I hope we can be friends. If not, then at least allies.
That depends on what you want. Then she looks at Rachel and Moon and Tariq. That depends on what all of you want.
Well, we would like Singapore to remain a stronghold of the Camarilla and for everybody to be able to do what they want to do. You know?
She rolls her eyes lightly and says, good. Say all the right things. Good.
Status quo. I think
She
you would
sighs.
like status quo?
She sighs a bit and says, okay.
Or are you thinking of something more ambitious?
She raises her hand and says, no, I think I've heard enough. Thank you.
What can I read from her body language?
There's something really weird about her. Oh my God! When you're reading her aura, are you trying to hide that you're reading her aura? I don't need you to roll because she keeps not making eye contact with you.
Right. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, she's rolling her eyes, looking away. Yeah.
I kind of have it on as per, and it's not like how you say. She just looks a bit more stoned than usual, Chantel. Yeah.
The thing about her aura is that it seems she's not alone.
She's not alone, as in.
There's more than one aura on her.
Wait, with my what's that called? My see the unseen, do I notice anything weird, like extra shadowy?
You are very suspicious, but you can't make it out. You don't even get to roll, but you are very suspicious of her. It's like there's obviously more than one aura because you know this because it keeps flicking. It's like it switches for a moment, it flicks on, and then it disappears. And then you see someone else, and then it's back to her.
Okay. So of the how many beings do I sense roughly?
In addition to her, there's two more.
Okay. And how do the three of them seem to react to all this? And to what I've said so
You
far?
can sense there's a strong vein of condescension, especially when she said underestimate. You think she meant it more as an insult than anything else.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. She's not a very pleasant person, really. Yeah, all of you get that vibe. Okay. Do any of the rest of you want to say anything to Cloud and Water before she drifts away?
No, I just say pleasantries because I get the feeling she's a bit better disposed to me. I'm just like, yeah, thank you very much, Cloud Warrior. You look beautiful as always. It's always an honor to renew our acquaintance. Thank you for coming to speak to us.
She seems favorably disposed towards you, woman.
Yeah.
Rick's not saying anything because last time didn't go that well. So he's just looking around, looking like he's doing his job. He occasionally touches his earpiece.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rachel's just trying to stay out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's 5 minutes to the vote, and you're pretty certain that of all the people that you've spoken to so far, pretty much everyone's voting for Chantel, which doesn't seem like for all of you, you're just like, oh, that's great. And then, but right away, then you're like, that makes no sense. What? It's almost as if like it was all set up for this to happen.
The Moon is still kind of like.
And why is Raffles so? The other question that's sort of boiling at the back of your heads is why is Raffles so universally disliked? For someone who's a fairly senior member of the court, clearly.
I have a question. What about the Banu Hakim? Are they voting at all, or it's more like a?
I think they have to, right? Because I mean, they are a clan.
Tariq, it's been explained to you, and you can explain this to the Coterie, that the Banu Hakim have no primogeniture because they have the prince.
The prince, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
they
will
also
they-
have the sheriff. So each of them, the prince has 2 votes, the sheriff has a tiebreaker. The
so they will
Sanskrit
be
also
voting.
has 1 vote.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so this is what Tariq knows, and I believe I'll leave it to you, Ramji. You probably share it with them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll share that. And I'll sort of Tariq is a bit in the think tank, just trying to like figure out what the game is here. But in all honesty, he's a bit lost, right? Like there's an element of like he's trying to figure it out from from his sort of looking at the world as everything is just part of a game. And he kind of sees all these moves, but he doesn't understand why everyone's making them, and he doesn't see, what particular benefit they'd get when they could just stab someone in the face. So, it just seems confusing, but to us seems like this is all to plan. So
Does Chantel notice his confusion?
Yes.
you'll notice. You've known me for a while, so you'll notice and you'll be able to read all of it, right? Which is a confusion, but it's not confusion based on I don't know what's going on. It's a confusion.
But he's trying to
based
piece
on-
things together.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I sidle up to Tariq. Tariq,
Yes, Miss Chantal.
I think I'm being used as a pawn.
Yes, Miss Chantal.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
I don't think
But-
you have a choice, Miss Chantal.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have a choice. And it's okay. It's not so bad. It'll get me away from Raffles at least.
I'm simply leaning a little closer, so we've been saying, I'm simply wondering how many of these fine people we need to ensure are accounted for so that you one day are not convicted in absentia.
I will have to do my best not to ever have that happen, I guess.
We, Miss Chantal.
Thank you.
As he says that, Moon kind of moves up to him, and she's not making eye contact with Tariq. She's kind of like, I think so. It looks like everybody's on Chantel's side. Maybe we should go and petition the prince to see whether Rachel can join our Coterie now, and maybe also get a good idea of whether she'll be voting for Chantel. And I'm just not making eye contact with Tariq.
I don't believe we are supposed to speak to the prince directly.
What about Tua? Shall we speak to Tua since we've met
I
him
feel
directly
that is a
before?
very reasonable. Tua or Jabat would be. Jabat is appropriate as well, yes?
You know that Chabat speaks very little.
Okay.
Are we meant to speak to the Seneschal?
Yes, so Tariq will say that Al or Tua would be appropriate because I think he's been told that no one should talk to Panbulang, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct.
He will remind that to the coterie and just say Pandulang's not to be approached. Our prince has their own ways and they are to be respected.
So I'll just let the players know you have time to speak to either Al or to Tua. You have time for one more conversation.
Tariq, do you feel, from what you know of Tua, will he be voting for Chantel?
Tua, as I understand it, will have the tiebreaker in this vote.
Then maybe we should go and speak to him.
That, I think, would be... And then Tariq just does the quick count in his head. Ramji doesn't have the count, but Tariq has the count. So is it a split vote at the moment?
No, it's very clearly in favor of Chantel at the moment. If what we've been reading is correct. Okay. Unless the prince and Tua and Al vote against them, there might be something.
Prince, Tua, Al, and the La Sombra.
La Sombra is a cloud water though. So, but we don't know. I mean, cloud water is an unknown quantity. So.
No, she doesn't seem to be very much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she seems to. She doesn't seem to be very much for Raffles either. Let's be fair.
Yeah. So
she's definitely got her own agenda, lah.
Tariq will say, "I will speak with Sheriff Tua if you wish to speak with Seneschal Al."
No, I think I will go with you.
Okay.
Okay. So you'll go to Tua, and he steps away from the prince and says, "Yes, how can I help?" You notice that he's just come off rather somewhat intense discussion with the other Banu Hakim. You all didn't interrupt him. He's just finished that discussion.
Sheriff, there are a couple of things. The first is we would wish to petition the prince to add young Miss Rachel from Clan Premier to our coterie.
Oh, that one you just talked to Al.
Okay. The second is a point of curiosity, perhaps. Why, and he leans a little closer, goes, why is Raffles so universally disliked?
Oh, because last time he and Dr. Georgina have a history, and it was quite scandalous.
Then why does he look so certain of himself right now?
Because he thinks that people have forgotten. But it was actually quite recent. And he's also always been very sure of himself. These kind of people, then, cannot tell the other people who don't like him. It's quite sad.
Should I make any special consideration in terms of security?
No, he's harmless. If Georgina can take him now, anybody can.
Oh wow, what happened?
Then I will leave this matter. Miss Moon.
Actually, much more serious. He points at Chantel. You have any idea where we can find Stephen?
He liked to hang out at Orchard Road last time, but honestly, I don't know him very well. Do I actually know of any of his favorite haunts other than
You
Orchard?
always found him right next to Paragon, seated on the bench.
Okay.
Whether obfuscated or not, you always found him there.
Yeah. I always found him at Paragon.
Okay, that's actually very useful information. Then he turns around, he gestures to Jabat. He says, go and check Orchard. Okay. And you see, Tariq, you see Jabat is taking, to be some of the best fighters amongst the Banu Hakim, and they're moving up.
Damn.
I look at Chantel with something of a bit of like, oh no. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Then Tuan turns back. Thanks for that, Miss Chantel. You have my vote.
Thank you. And as we move away from the others, I'll turn to Moon. Did I do something wrong?
No. No. Look, okay, where I come from, right? It's all about the sisterhood, okay? So, Stasa tell me to support you, I will support you. And you're my coterie, so I will support you. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, okay? Never mind. I don't know Stephen personally. Never mind. And Moon just kind of like looks at Georgina, looks at Chantel, looks at the people moving out. Never mind, okay? I pat Georgina on the shoulder, I pat Chantel on the shoulder. Never mind. And then I kind of like I just go and scope out the rest of the room just to make sure everything's okay.
Can you ask Star maybe? I don't know much about what happened before because Georgina doesn't want to tell me, Raffles doesn't want to tell me, so I don't know anything about what happened. Do you think? I think Star would know because she's very good at keeping tabs on things.
Yeah, of course. I will ask her. Okay, of course you okay, take it easy, okay, you gotta look nice. The announcement should be anytime in 1 or 2 minutes. And then I'm very like, I don't know where to look. I'm kind of like, I'm walking, I walk over to Star. Since Momo asked, I walk over to ask Star. I mean, she can answer me now or not because I don't know whether time is up.
You have a minute.
Star. 大姐,
what's the matter?
No, I did as you said. I think everybody will support Chantel.
Good.
And everybody seems to support her anyway. 大姐, what happened with Raffles and
and Dr. Georgina? That one happened long time ago lah. But the two of them used to have a relationship before Bruce came into the picture.
Why people keep saying that Georgina took him out?
Oh, she laughs a bit. Do you know that she stole his heart?
You mean like the real one, or are you trying to?
So that's the legend.
So she still has it?
I don't know, but that's how the story goes. People saw her taking out his heart.
But I thought he would die.
I also don't know, but people saw it.
So 大姐, we are going to ally ourselves with this Dr. Georgina, and 大姐, is there any chance that Dr. Georgina is selling people to other vampires or?
Oh, that one you better don't ask her directly lah.
大姐, why are we being friends with her? I don't know. She like very. I get very like jijik feeling.
Sometimes girl, sometimes we have no choice in these matters lah. And Dr. Georgina, other than the prince, is probably the most powerful. Then she pauses, then she glances at Elle. Probably the third most powerful vampire on this island.
大姐, so for this blood hunt, what is going to happen to Stephen?
Oh, then whoever finds him gets a major boon lah.
And then they find him and then
they kill him lah. Otherwise, you see, if they don't do this and they don't make a show of doing it, then people will think, oh, I can anyhow embrace. Cannot.
Yeah.
That's not how the camera works.
Okay.
Yeah.
谢谢
Because
大姐。
you anyhow embrace, you know what happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the kids don't know the rules, then the masquerade fail. Then we become like Europe lah, gonna kill all the angmos. Cannot even use our phones anymore. At least here we can still use internet, use our phone, everything okay.
谢谢大姐。
We work very hard for this, okay? Don't forget, Momo.
Yeah. Okay. I won't forget.
And the announcement is made for everyone to gather again as L summons the Primogen forward one by one to vote. The vote is public. Dr. Georgina is first to be asked. Clan Ventru. Clan Ventru, so your vote, she says. Chantel. Okay, one for Chantel. Clan Nosferatu, your honor. Chantel. Two for Chantel. Clan Torino. Chantel. Okay, three for Chantel. Clan La Sombra. Clan La Sombra abstains. Okay, three for Chantel. So then it's left to me. Because I am the Senescal, then he looks around. Actually, I should abstain also. Lah. Okay, so but still three for Chantel. Then he turns to the prince. Then but actually the prince also don't need to vote, but wait, must ask. Puan Bulang. Tua goes to her. Tua walks back to L. L nods. Okay. Puan Bulang votes for Chantel. So that is 5. Then it is at this moment that Raffles says, now just wait a minute. Yes, Mr. Raffles? Now, all of you are making a very big mistake. Raffles is walking forward into the center of the room. This is a travesty. You're all making a horrible mistake. He points at you, Chantal. You are not ready. She is not ready. Chantal, do you respond?
I look at him and I look down and I look at the rest. I'm not saying anything verbally, but I'm kind of just quietly sitting there and kind of giving everyone the eye like, do you see this guy? Do you see what he's doing? The kind of thing, you know.
For Rachel and Moon, less for Tariq, but Rachel and Moon, you all can read the room in the mood of the room quite easily. Raffles is obviously making a fool of himself. Okay, and he's a rather sad figure at the moment. And then it goes back to Al as he says, okay, Mr. Raffles, anything else to say? We are making a mistake. So we are making a mistake. And he looks pointedly at Raffles. Raffles says, no, I would never suggest that. I mean, because the prince voted for Chantal. So the prince made a mistake. No, of course not.
Oh,
Good. Good. And he nods at Raffles. And Raffles very quietly and with the eyes of the entire court on him storms out of the room.
Quietly storms off.
Silently. Okay. Miss Chantal, please come forward.
She steps forward, quiet.
Then he steps aside. Puan Bulang, please. Then he looks at you, and then you see him gesture for you to. He does this. He's gesturing for you to kneel.
I kneel.
Puan Bulang comes up to you and places a hand on your head.
I lower my head.
Okay. And then Elle announces, the prince has given her blessing. Please welcome the newest member of the Primogen Council, Miss Chantal. Everyone applauds.
is so strange.
It's a golf clap, though. It's not
Yeah.
particularly ebullient.
And that's fine. Chantal stands up, bows to the gathered court members.
And I have an update. It appears that the hunt is on, thanks to the intel given by Miss Chantal. I made a rhyme. So we are currently searching through the orchard area for the fugitive. You're free to join the blood hunt. Whoever gets the kill gets the major boon. Good. Okay, so Elysium will continue until midnight tonight. Please enjoy yourselves. You're free to go about your business.
Moon kind of like, and then walks up to Chantal, and then congratulations, Chantal.
Thank you for your support.
Chantal,
Yes,
should we go and tell Stephen? You
yes.
can say that we're going for the blood hunt. Should we go now and try and find him?
We can.
Okay, so I look at Chantal. I have a bit of like, okay, I'm more able
Are
to
people trying to approach us right now?
You notice, Chantal, that the other Primogen are sort of making a beeline towards you. It's clear that they want to congratulate you.
Yeah, I hold on to Momon's hands. I cannot go, but you can. He's at Paragon near the benches.
I cannot see.
You don't have to. Just go to the bench. He usually isn't obfuscated, right?
Sometimes he is.
Okay. Is there a particular place that he likes to hang out?
It's the benches next to that. I don't know what the name of the building is, but with the Rolex office next to Paragon.
I think it's a Rolex building.
Oh,
I don't know. I might be wrong. Okay.
Yeah, he's always at that bench.
Just go to the bench next to the Rolex building and whisper. He'll be able to hear you if he's there. If he's not, then it's okay.
Okay.
Tell him I'm sorry. Tell him to run.
Okay. I I just put on my best, like, congratulations. I go
Thank
to
you.
Tariq will throw you, as you walk past or you come close, he will just hand you his keys and say, I can't believe you stole my keys. Our keys. Knowing that he can't leave because he's running
you can't
security
leave
for the
either.
night.
Crap.
He's running
Okay.
security for the night, so he cannot leave, but he'll say, I cannot believe you stole my keys, and just hand you his keys.
Okay, I'm gonna grab Rachel. So nice, you're dressed. And then once again, poor Rachel gets dragged to the car. So we're gonna try and reach Stephen before anybody does.
So here's what happens next. I'm gonna accelerate things a bit.
I can drive. I got driving skill.
Okay, so I'm gonna accelerate things a bit as we draw the session to a close. Chantal and Tariq, you spend the rest of the evening actually just in the most horrible political way you have to spend the rest of the evening talking to people.
Yeah.
Tariq will be hanging off like a foot or so from Chantal's shoulder, and literally everybody that's not an elder that makes eye contact with him will be getting the I'm ready to kill you look.
Tariq, you sense, Chantal, actually, you sense that Tariq's standing has also improved because of his proximity to you in the court. Okay, you sense that both of you and your coterie has been elevated. Okay, so that's for Chantal and Tariq. Moon and Rachel.
Driving like the wind.
Okay, you screech. You know that there's a small road behind Lucky Plaza where you can stop, and you just jump out of the car with Rachel and you run towards the benches. The good thing is you don't see anyone dressed in black or dark red or in traditional clothing. There, you're hopeful that it's because they're not obfuscated. Okay, but you don't see anyone other than mortals sitting on the bench. You don't see anyone that looks like Stephen.
I asked, okay, so Rachel doesn't have any see the unseen, anything like that, right?
Rachel, you don't have auspics, right?
I don't have.
She has the clan discipline, but don't know whether she would.
Yeah.
Do you have auspics, Rachel?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't have the skill.
Okay, then never mind. So I just asked Rachel, you look out, okay, for anybody that might be coming. Okay, we're gonna save Chantel's friend. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then I sit on the bench. Then I'm like, you sit on the other one. We pretend we're having a conversation, okay?
Okay.
Then I just go, hey, Rachel. I wish my friend Steven was here. If he was, it's like I never, it's just I never really got a chance to speak to him properly after the last time when things didn't go so well and everybody was out for his blood. So silly, right? Right now, Rachel, and I just look for Rachel for a response.
Yeah, so silly.
Yeah, so silly, right? I wish I had the chance to tell him, it's just, I saw many people still, wow, they still like want his head now. We all used to be friends, but everything has changed. I wish I could just tell him, hey, go and find your own life, go and find your own thing. We are all on his side, but, he has to take the opportunity before it's too late. I'm sure that, if Chantel got the chance, she would tell him that too, right, Richard?
Oh, she will tell him to take the chance before it's too late.
Yeah, it's like they're all, otherwise, there's no sense, like being on bad blood with people who are just like, want to hunt him. I just wish that he just go and take care of himself lah. Yeah, and I sort of like stretch out my arm, see whether I can feel anything around the benches.
There's someone there that wasn't there sitting next to you before, and you see this figure.
Oh shit.
Oh, intense. That is a very intense stare.
Let me bring up his picture.
Oh, it's a different person I see.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That is seriously intense.
Yeah. But seated next to him is Stephen, and in his arms, he's holding a young girl. She can't be older than 10 or 11.
Oh no.
Dressed in hospital robes, and she appears to be have a gag around her mouth, and her hands and legs are tied.
No shit.
And then he looks up at you and he says, well, I mean, you came at quite a bad timing lah, because Mr. Ranveer here is about to give me safe passage to Changi.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's good to hear. I'm still like, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's good to hear. I pretend I'm talking to Rachel. Chantel sends her regards.
Good. She's the new Primogen, right? Good lah. Better than Raffles. You see that he's holding on to the girl very tightly, and she seems to be squirming, and you can see in her eyes, both you and Rachel know what it is. It's the beast.
Stephen, why can't she control herself?
I had to embrace her. She was almost dead already. She has leukemia. Not anymore, but she had leukemia.
So you're going to bring her somewhere to feed her, and then everything's going to be okay?
Yeah, the Independence, he looks at Ranveer. The Independence will be able to help me with her. You say hi to her? Her name is Vanessa.
I'm not good at talking to children. I look at Rachel.
Hi, Vanessa.
Vanessa, it's a little terrifying, Rachel, but you know what it is. She's fighting the beast. She's confused. She's scared. She's angry.
Okay, y'all better go because everybody else is coming. Is there any way we can contact you or Mr. Ranveer if we need to get in touch with you?
It's best that you do not contact us.
Okay,
But
say
it
hi.
will be okay, Vanessa. Don't worry. I know it's uncomfortable now, but you'll be better.
Please say hello to Mr. Asing for us.
Ranveer stands up and starts to flag down a passing lorry as Stephen stands up also and he says, okay, help me tell Chantel to take care, okay?
Okay, we have to go. Thank you. Rachel, let's go.
Rachel, you and Moon Moon see that they get up onto they disappear from sight.
Okay.
And then Ranveer gets onto the lorry and then the lorry pulls away.
Rachel, we gotta
Okay.
go before anybody sees us here. Let's go.
Okay,
And
let's
as
go.
you all run back to the car and you're driving away, you notice that you see a group of figures appear where you were, and it's Jabat and 3 other Banu Hakim, and you can see them like searching the benches as if they're looking for something as you're driving away. They don't seem to have spotted you. Okay, but you can see that in their hand, they appear to be holding some sort of talisman. Okay, as if they're like scanning for something. Okay, as you drive away. And
As we drive, I'm just gonna say to Rachel, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. This is fucked up, this is fucked up. Never mind. Let's go and support Chantel. Okay, Rachel?
Yeah, okay.
are you going back to Elysium?
Yeah, I think we will, just to make sure everything's okay. Yeah.
The scene ends as Rachel and Moon, when you enter Elysium, there's an announcement being made. And it's Al. He's saying, I'm sorry, everyone. We actually announced that everything was done for the evening, but we've just been informed by the Anarchs that they have Stephen. And you see everyone look up. And he continues, and they're not letting him go. So, as per our agreement with Jibunya and Mr. Lim Bo Sing, is a violation of the terms of our treaty with the Anarchs. The Camarilla and the Anarchs are officially at war. And that's where we end this evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for Singapore by Night.
Oh, shit.
Ed, you asked me to remind you of something as well.
Yes. And
So-
here's the postscript. Tariq, at the stroke of midnight, you take out your phone to check. You had 10 million snowman tokens, which were valued at 1,000th of a cent each. The price of snowman is currently at 10,000 US dollars.
Wow, never tell your friends.
And Theo says, you get a message from Theo, sell? Question mark.
Del.
Okay. The net proceeds are 100 billion US dollars.
What?
To the moon! To the
And
moon!
you have scammed 542,000 people worldwide
Oh,
of their money. And that's where we end. Tariq is now $100 billion richer. And thank you for joining us. This has been Singapore by Night with our wonderful players. It was Lisa playing Rachel, Sheena playing Chantel, the new Malkavian Primogen, Joe playing Moon Moon, the very loyal Toreador, and Tariq, now one of the richest individuals on the
That is
planet,
gross.
played by Ramji. I've been Edward, your storyteller. Please join us next Monday night for the fourth culture as we discover what happens in the mysterious and weird world of Ertu, because big things happening there, because our party is about to enter the Temple of Doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
We beat up a sandworm last week, but what's waiting for us inside the temple? Will there be more phallic-shaped monsters? Well, you have to join us to find
Definitely.
out. Next Monday at 7 p.m. And the season conclusion of Singapore by Night is next Thursday at 7 p.m. Don't miss that, because we are at war. So will Singapore's newest, richest person have anything to say about that?
Singapore's, like, I think he's up in the top 3 with, like,
Yeah, you're right up there. Dude, you are right up there with Warren Buffett at the
and
moment.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah.
She's gonna get
All
the
Tariq is thinking about is, if vampires are in space, do we still get burnt up? Because I need to think about this.
So you too will build a giant phallic-shaped object to send you to space.
I certainly shall.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful evening. And Ramji, who
We are
we-
obviously going to go and see exactly. Thank you very much. We are going to go and hang out with our friends over at D&D, also known as Shanto D&D, and that's where we're going to go right now. So hang out.
I think
That's
that
great.
was
Let's
the
do
worst
thing.
one so far.
Yay, see you guys at
We'll see you on Monday, folks.